Hi, I'm Lucy from Sew Essential and I'm here today to share the latest Simplicity pattern release with you. So everything I talk about today is available on our lovely website and you'll find links to all the patterns and fabrics I mentioned below. And if you like what you see, please like and subscribe because every Friday I bring you a video packed full of sewing goodness. If you can't wait a whole week, do check out our other social channels. Jump onto Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. We're there so you can get more sewing inspiration in between videos. And I've picked out my favourite designs today from the latest release. I've paired them with some gorgeous dressmaking fabrics to give you lots of inspiration, but then we've included a little slideshow at the end of the video of all the other designs that I haven't picked out as well, just in case there's anything else that floats your boat. So let's get started with the first pattern, which is Simplicity 9386. Oh, when I first saw this, I just absolutely loved it. It's such a beautiful pattern. So it's a 1960s vintage. It's got several different versions that you can make. So there's options for sleeveless, short sleeved, or 3/4 sleeve with a flounce around the hem. There's also the option with one of the sleeves, I think, to have a little band at the end of it. It's a simple sort of shell top on the body, so it's just got bust darts, very simple shape. It's buttoned down the back, which I always think is a nice, pretty little feature. But the thing that this pattern is all about is the collars. So it's got one option, which is my favourite, which is this beautiful sort of scalloped petal collar, I would call it. It's kind of a bit of a twist on a Peter Pan collar, but it's just so pretty. And I think it'd be really interesting to sew that as well. Sew those curves, and then I'd make sure you do good trimming and grading of those seams to get a nice soft curve finish. Maybe use a sewing machine foot with markings on it as well for your seam allowance to help you go around the curves. And then there's another option for a flounce collar, but personally the petal collar is where it's at for me. But I just think this would be a really useful sort of staple pattern to have in your collection, because you know you've got the options for dressing it up, making it a little bit different and unique, but also you've got the option for just that standard, you know, t-shirt sort of shaped blouse that I think we all find useful having in our wardrobe. There's also an option with a little cute tie as well at the neck, at the collar, which is really lovely. But as I say, yeah, that petal collar, I mean, I just think that's so unique. You're not going to see anybody else with that, and I think you get lots of compliments on it. I'll just quickly run through the sizes. So the 6 starts at a 30.5 bust, 23 waist and 32.5 hip, and it runs up to a 24, which is a 46 bust, 39 waist and 48 hip. And the fabric I chose to make that up, I mean, you can use anything woven, that sort of, you know, you could use crepes, rayons probably. I'd probably use something with a bit of weight to it. But yeah, this Mystique satin back crepe, which is a John Caldor, is the one that I chose. I just think this would work beautifully. I can just imagine that petal collar blouse made up in this. So you've got the satin side if you like a high shine, and then you've got a more matte side with a very subtle sheen to it. And you can use either side, whichever you prefer. And this comes in a range of colours, and I think, as I say, would make it beautifully into that blouse. So that's my first pick. My second pick is Simplicity 9388. So we've gone from vintage retro 60s vibe, which I absolutely love, to super contemporary modern. This is absolutely one of the key trends at the moment, and again, I love this trend as well. And I like that about sewing, that you can jump across the eras and go with whatever you like. You know, you don't have to stick to any rules, do you? You can have a really unique, eclectic collection of clothes, and that's just wonderful. So this pattern is a shacket. So it's a jacket that looks like a shirt. So there's options for a long version which comes down probably just below the knee, a shorter a cropped version that looks like it would hit around about the waist, and then there's a longer version that will probably hit at about the hip. They've all got a back yoke, patch pockets on the chest there, they're buttoned down, there's the cuffs have got pleats on them, and there's a back yoke in the pleat. The yoke and the sleeves are designed to be lined, and with that you want to go for something, that mystique that I just showed you, a satin back crepe would be a great option, because, and this is one of Angela's top tips, satin's great for jacket sleeves, because it helps you to slip your arm into the jacket nice and easily. Having said that, this is quite a loose fit on this jacket, so you know, I don't think you're going to have too many problems with that. But yeah, a nice satin back crepe could work really well for the lining, but you can also use flannel, cotton, polyester. They suggest flannel obviously is going to have potentially a little bit of friction as you put your arms in, but again, it's a loose fit, so I don't think it's going to be too much of an effort. This runs from XXS, which is a 28 to 29 chest, 24 to 25 waist, and a 29 to 30 hip, up to an XXL, which is a 50 to 52 chest, 46 to 48 waist, and 51 to 53 hip. It is unisex as well, so you know, because it's this sort of loose contemporary fit, then you know the idea is that it'll work across the female and male form. So I'm just going to show you the fabric I've chosen for that one, which is this lovely wool mix fabric. It's a coating fabric and it's very heavy, but it's this lovely check, which is very contemporary, very now, perfect for that shacket look. There's a matte side, and then there's also the what I believe is supposed to be the right side has got like a very, it's sort of soft, it's got a very, very soft handle to it. It's almost a little bit furry, but it's not furry, but it's hard to explain, but it's just got a very, very short, not even a proper pile, but it's just really, really soft like a blanket. It's beautiful, and I think that would make up into a fantastic shacket. I'm hoping I get round to making one of those very soon. Got a couple of things on the sewing table at the moment that I need to get finished, but yeah, that's going to be hopefully next but one on my list. And then the next pattern, again, very contemporary, very now, Simplicity 9374. So this is another one that runs from XXS to XXL. Sizes on this one are slightly different though, because this is a women's pattern. So bust is 29.5 for an XXS, 22 waist, 31.5 hip, and then the XXL is 48 bust, 41.5 waist, and 50 hip. This pattern, I've seen so many of these sorts of garments around at the moment. So there's an option, there's two options for tank tops. So they've got grown on sleeves, so nice and easy, no setting in sleeves to worry about. They've got a V-neck, which is finished with a band, so that's a good little sewing technique to get your head around. I think there's a blog article on our blog about how to do a V-neck, if you need any help with that, but it's definitely a good technique to get down. You can go for the tank top in the longer sort of tunic length with a band at the hem, or you can go for a more cropped version with the band at the hem. And then you've also got the option for a longer tunic length cardigan with patch pockets on the front and a button down front, again finished with a nice band, or a really cute cropped cardigan, which I also really like. I love this pattern. I just think there's so many different options, and I've seen lots of people going for the tank top look this season. It is one of the key looks this season, and they look great paired with those pretty flouncy dresses that we see all the time, midi length floral ditzy dresses with pretty collars and sleeves, with a tank top over the top is very much a key look, and I think it just looks great. great. And we've got the perfect fabric for that pattern. We've got it in 2 colourways. There's a lot more of it downstairs than this. I just brought a little piece up because it's easier for me to carry. But this is a lovely forest green colourway. And then if you're more into your neutrals, we've also got it in like a taupe colour, like a sandy, beigey almost colour. So do check that out on the website as well if the forest green isn't your thing. But it's a really nice fabric. It's got a lovely soft handle. It is a knit fabric, so that's what's required for that pattern, and it's got enough stretch in it, but it's quite a stable knit really, so I thought it would work well for that pattern. And I think, yeah, the little tank top or cropped cardigan would be my choice for that pattern. But yeah, really love that look and very contemporary. And now, as I said, and then the next pattern I chose was Simplicity 9376, which is a pull-on trouser pattern. So I really like this pattern because I think it looks very smart across the front. It's sort of very flat and looks like it would hold you in across the front, which, you know, I like that feeling. I like wearing higher waisted things that kind of make me feel like I'm being held in at the front a little bit. But it is an elasticated waist, which you will see at the back. I think you get more of the look of the elasticated waist at the back, but it's nice and flat the way they've done the waistband at the front. So what I'm saying really is you're going to get a pair of trousers that look quite tailored, but they're going to be way more comfortable than a pair of tailored trousers. So in my eyes, that's a total win-win. Love the styling on the packet of this one. So I think they are slightly cropped. Oh no, they're not. I don't think they are supposed to be cropped actually. But I love the styling. She's got like a Prince of Wales check trousers on with some lovely loafers, and they're very, very in at the moment. I really like those flat loafers with sort of like the chunky sole. Again, comfortable, but gives you that smart, polished together look. And I really like that about a lot of the fashions at the moment. I'm a great lover of dressing up and glitz and glamour, you know, when there's an occasion for it. But day to day, I think anything where you can kind of feel a little bit put together, feel a little bit smart, but still feel casual enough not to feel silly and get away with flat shoes or whatever. For my lifestyle anyway, I really enjoy that about the fashions at the moment. So the options on this one, you can go for pleats or pin tucks, coming down from the waistband. You've got options for waist ties, belt loops and top stitching. As I mentioned, that nice flat front waistband and then elasticated at the back. The hems you can go for standard, a cuff or elasticated. And the fabric I chose for these is our wool mix fabric, which is beautiful quality. It's a suiting fabric. It's 86% wool, 12% polyester and 2% spandex, so it's got a little bit of give in it, which again is going to up those comfort stakes. And it is just absolutely beautiful quality. It really is. It's a lovely classic navy blue. So, you know, a pair of classic trousers that are going to feel smart, put together, that you're going to go back to time and time again over the years. I don't think they'll ever date really. You know, you can't beat just a simple pair of classic trousers. And in a navy blue, you know, you can pair that with all sorts of different colours and tops and various things. So yeah, I think that would be a good wardrobe staple. And then finally, pattern number 9385, which runs from a 6 to a 24. So these are knit tops. Again, another classic staple piece to have in your wardrobe, but with a very contemporary twist on them. So you've got options for all the sleeves. Have got a bit of volume to them, which is obviously very fashionable at the moment. You've got the option for gathers at the sleeve head, which I always like. I think I've got them on this. This is the Adrian blouse by the Friday Pattern Company. I think we've got a bit of this fabric left as well. But I always say a gathered sleeve head is nice because you haven't got to worry about puckers and kind of getting those sleeves in perfectly and smoothly, which, you know, if you're an experienced sewer, that's an easy task to complete. But if you're more of a beginner or not as experienced, that's one of the things I used to find quite difficult. So a gathered sleeve head's a nice way to get around that. The bodice looks like it's a fairly relaxed fit, and there's options for longer lengths with just a standard hem, or a shorter cropped length with sort of a wide band to finish the hem. There's options for a really deep cuff that the sort of puff sleeve finishes into, or there's like a shorter cuff on some of the designs. There's also an option for a turtleneck or a crew neck, and I'm not sure how the crew neck is finished, whether it's a separate band or whether it's a facing. It looks like it might be a separate band on that one. But yeah, just a top that would be really, really useful to have in your wardrobe for the winter, get lots of wear out of. I've got a bit of an obsession with turtlenecks myself. I'd cleared out my wardrobe at the weekend and I was quite surprised at just how many turtlenecks I've got. I think I've got a bit of a problem. But the fabric I chose to sew that one up in is this lovely Fair Isle fabric. So I've seen a lot of these sorts of designs around again this year. It's always a classic sort of winter go-to design, a nice Fair Isle one. What I like about this one is the grey and black is very neutral and sort of, you know, not too in your face, that some of the Fair Isle designs can be a bit too colourful sometimes, in my opinion. I mean, you know, we're all different, but I think having a nice neutral one like this could work really well. So that would be my choice for that pattern. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. As I said at the start of the video, everything I talk about today is available on our website, and you'll find links to everything I mentioned below. And if you like what you see today, please like and subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.